Welcome to the BLTnT Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Loria, serving up real stories of business, life, technology, and transformations. You'll hear from interesting people about big changes from career shifts to life-altering decisions and the innovations that help make it all happen. It's about sharing those light bulb moments, pivot points, challenges overcome, and the journeys that inspire us to think differently. If you're on the lookout for insights to propel you forward, stories that resonate, or just a bit of inspiration on your next BLTnT move, you're in the right place. Let's dig in. Somehow, someway, you found your way to the BLTnT Podcast. My name is Matt Loria. I'm the host of this podcast. And in my day job, I'm the CEO of a company called Oxium, where we provide IT and cybersecurity services and solutions to a variety of organizations around the nation. The BLTnT Podcast is all about sharing life stories, business, life, technology, and transformation stories of the interesting people that I get to meet and work with on a daily basis. Like I said, in my day job, I'm in the technology business, and I'm around a lot of very interesting people. I would call them luminaries, most of them. And these folks are from all different walks of life, from government organizations to corporate organizations to civic and community organizations, and they're often doing some really cool things. As the BLTnT acronym says, the T at the end is really the dynamite to me, which is the transformation. So the technology and transformations, because there's so many interesting things happening nowadays with technology that's driving and enabling people to make some really cool shifts in what they're doing. But it really takes the guts and the fortitude and the faith to be able to take those leaps and be ready to transform, whether that's something in their personal life or something in their business life or, something in technology that they're doing. So we chose to spread these messages of business, life, technology, and transformations through the podcast platforms, and especially through both video and audio, because we want you to be able to get to know these people. And the podcast platforms and YouTube are still built out with wonderful features to be able to share this pretty quickly from the time that we shoot the podcast to the time that we bring it to you. And we're able to cut these up into some shorter segments, which are very digestible for whoever wants to learn from these folks. And so that's why we chose that platform, because we think it can also just scale really, really well. Most of what we were doing was I was having these interesting breakfasts, lunches, coffee meetings with these interesting people. And every time I go into a meeting, I think two things. How can I help this person, and who can I introduce this person to? And every meeting I walk out of, I typically have some to-dos of this is what I think I can help them with, and this is who I think they should be introduced to that could just help them in some other way. And so let's pretend I walk into a lunch meeting and I walk out thinking, boy, I really need to introduce this person to Bill and Fred. What was happening is that I would introduce that person to Bill and Fred, but I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great if we could share this story with 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 other people versus just Bill and Fred? And that's why we're here. That's why we're doing it via the podcast platform, is because it scales really nicely and can get the message out to as many people as want to receive it. When I'm talking to somebody, especially a guest on the BLTnT podcast, I'm thinking about what is their why? Why did they get into the business that they are into? What has brought them into these different parts of life, walks and journeys that they've been on, and why are they making these shifts? Why are they doing what they're doing out there? And so we're really digging to the bottom of the why behind the matters, and I think you're going to be really interested to hear where some of these inspirations come from. And we're really hoping that what happens as well is that you get inspired by these other folks' whys as well. So we've got a variety of guests coming your way here real soon. Everything from business leaders, sports players, civic and community leaders like church leaders and government folks. But there is a common thread. The common thread is that some change, some shift has happened somewhere along the way for them that they're really getting to share. Everybody's life is a journey, and that journey leads to stories. And those stories are what these people are bringing to the table here, which then hopefully gives us a little bit of glimmer of hope, a little bit of glimmer of inspiration, a little bit of encouragement, something positive coming out of the journeys of others. BLTnT Podcast is all about connections. And like I said, many great connections happen over a great meal or a cup of coffee. And so I invite you to pull up a chair at our table. I invite you here as often as possible to get some inspiration. I invite you to share some inspiration too. So if you think that you're someone who wants to be a guest on our show, please reach out to us. There's contact information around this page here, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for being here. Be sure to like, follow, share, tell your friends, and you can find us on all of the major platforms, including YouTube, Apple, Spotify, you name it. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep transforming, and keep doing, because it's in the action that these stories are created, because otherwise it's just talk. Until next time, I'm Matt Loria, and we'll see you at the next episode. This episode of the BLTnT Podcast is sponsored by Auxium, business IT and cybersecurity designed to outsmart chaos. Empowered by Juniper Networks. Automate your network with Juniper Networks and the Mist AI platform, the world's first AI-driven wired and wireless network.